Stay tuned for another episode of the Coming Soon podcast with Spider.
Hello, everybody. Spider here once again. Coming Soon podcast, San Antonio, Texas, being joined by Melissa Sapienza. And I should have asked you, is that how you pronounce your last name?
Yes.
Okay. Now, as far as where about are you at right now?
I am in around Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Okay. I've seen that, and I always ask because sometimes people move and they leave the same state, for some reason. But just wanted to make sure. Now, of course, being involved in indie films, you've done quite a bit. Now, when it comes to being involved in indie films, one of my questions that I wanted to get into was your experience. Of course, we all got to start somewhere.
Mhm.
But when you first started, like actually getting into movies, like, did you have any prior experience?
Really, it all started whenever I was playing with special effects makeup, and a friend of mine, a school friend, said, "Hey, somebody's looking for somebody to do special effects on an independent film," and that's where it started. I got hired on that gig, and then it was a word of mouth. Hey, have you worked with this person? And then it just went from there.
Nice. Now, of course, things like that because I always bring up networking because it does
Oh
help.
yeah.
You talk to the right person or somebody just hears something and they're like, hey, you know what? Now, when it comes to networking, of course, social media has helped a lot.
Yes.
Since you've been involved in filmmaking, has it been around social media or was this like when it was first like coming up?
I definitely my pool of people I've worked with has been mainly through social media.
Okay.
Um, Instagram, Facebook, all the indie horror community groups, and word of mouth.
Nice. Now, as far as indie films, Pittsburgh, is it pretty, like notorious for indie films? Is there a lot of people out there?
Oh yeah, it's notorious for indie films and for major motion pictures as well. Everybody comes here to get the big city scene for the smaller budget. So a lot of filming in Pittsburgh.
And of course, having gotten into it, of course, you were doing special effects, you're doing makeup. Were you when you were doing that? Was it something that you were looking forward to? Were you thinking about acting, or when the opportunity came up, you just jumped on it?
I mean, I've had um experience with acting. Um as far back as, doing it in high school. I started working for a haunted attraction back in 2016, so I was doing some haunt acting. So I did have experience, but I never thought I would be in a position where I would be in front of the camera for like full features. So, surprise.
Yeah, and of course, when that happened, were you used to it? Because being a scare actor, or being a haunt actor, you gotta get in character and scare people, But
Oh yeah.
were you kind of used to it being in front of the camera?
Oh yeah, and being in front of the camera has never been hard for
Yeah.
me. um I like slipping into characters. So be just doing it, having it recorded is no different.
Nice. And now, of course, having a family. How has this been around the family? Of course, when the kids were younger,
Mhm.
was it awkward for them? Did they know what you were doing?
Um yeah, so whenever I first was on set for my first full length feature, which was Deathboard,
Yeah.
um the kids have actually been on set with me,
Oh,
and
nice.
I was able to take them through the process a little bit. Um, so they saw the behind the scenes, and even if I was making prosthetics at home for other things, like they saw the process of how I was making that.
Yeah.
And um, they appreciate all the work that goes behind making the gore and making the whole movie itself, but they're not scary movie fans.
Oh, okay.
So, they're like, "Okay, mom, that's cool, but I'm not gonna watch it." I'm like, "That's fine."
Now, I mean, well, let me ask you this because, of course, I mean, Halloween. We get that once a
Yeah.
year. You know, come Halloween, I mean, were they kind of used to like, hey, mom, do your magic? I mean, did they ask you as far as like with makeup and costume?
They will ask help with costuming. When it comes to makeup, my daughter, she's my mini me. So she'll ask for like she likes being a clown now, which is like, "Huh." um, but they are more used to me making sure that I'm also dressed up with them and having fun and doing the trick or treating with them and yeah.
Nice. No, I mean, of course, when it comes to film, I mean, would you say it's a family affair? I mean, does everybody get involved? I mean, when you have a gig coming up, but do they support you, of course, but did they kind of like, okay, mom, you gotta get ready, did they give you your time away?
It's whenever I am away, it's a lot of I guess the word would be, time for transition.
Yeah,
If I'm gonna be away for a while, I talk about what's gonna be going on, how many days, what kind of work that I'm expecting to do while I'm there. So I might I might not be able to answer the phone or if
right.
you can text me, just kind of preparing them for that. And then I do make time when I am away to check in at least daily, check on my husband, check on the kids, make sure everything's fine. Um, but overall, I mean, they're supportive. They have not had a chance yet to be involved yet in a
Okay,
project, which I would like to introduce them into a short in the near future. I think that would be
nice.
fun, just something to do together. Um, and yeah, but other than that, a lot of it is just talking through and processing and so they know, "Hey, I will be back at
Yeah.
this point because those 4 to 5-day long stretches can be a bit much for both ends.
No, and of course, that's when you tell them you need something called that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You see, and
But
let me
even for
ask you,
myself, like, I as much as I love, being out and being
yeah.
social, I am a homebody at the end of the day, so I do
No,
like coming home.
no, you see, and that's I hear that a lot because I'm the same way. I mean, I attend conventions pretty much like every weekend, and I'm always out and I'm always around crowds. But I always tell people like, man, I'd rather be home. I mean, that's the truth. I have everything
Yeah.
I have. I want here. I mean, I don't. But yeah, going to events, going to film, going to shoot some behind the scenes. I mean, I'm game. I'll definitely be out there. But it's kind of I mean, for me, I've been doing media, for combat sports for years. So being behind the camera was always my little, where I would hide. I'm the guy behind the
Yeah.
lens. Nobody really paid attention to me, and but yeah, been on TV. I've been fortunate to be like, on for the UFC fights or Bellator back when, and a lot of cool opportunities. But at the end of the day, it's like, man, I don't want to be on TV. It's just one of those things, but I enjoy it. I mean, I've been on commercials here locally, for past jobs. It's just I don't want to say it just came natural because I wouldn't get nervous. So like afterwards, I'd be like, oh damn, like I was just live. Like it's just it hits you, But
Oh, yeah, being live is a whole other vibe. It was funny because my husband and I were just talking about this. I was live on, one of our public news stations a couple years ago for my big girl job, and, that morning, my tire popped,
oh
and
wow,
I was already in a panic because I knew I was gonna be in live television for the first time, and then he had to drive me into work. I was in a panic, but, like, luckily, the reporter that I was working with, she's adorable. She's got such a good energy that we were able just to get through everything.
yeah,
But
no,
those live segments, they can be mentally draining because everybody's gonna see the thing.
no, yeah. As soon as you screw up, everybody's gonna be on it, and I don't think
Yeah.
even for me, like back when, I don't think it was as bad as it is now because now, you can screenshot video and it's like boom, instant. Before you have to edit and crop it and everything else. But yeah, it's just I've had a few great opportunities here. I don't know if you guys have it out there. I doubt it, but it's like an Academy Sports Store I've worked with for years, and for them it was always like the back to school. The news would be there to do a
Yeah.
little bit, behind the back to school special thing, and they would always see me helping customers, and they're like, "Hey, can you do that again?" And I'm like, "Do what?" And they're like, "What you were just doing?" And I'm like, looking at the customers, like, "Hey, do you guys mind?" And they're like, "No." So I'm here breaking down like the backpacks and the different, sizes, and just, I mean, selling, but it's just like
Yeah.
once it's done, they're like, "Oh, okay, thanks," and I'm like, "Okay, well, what was that?" And boom, come to find out, I'm on live TV, so I'm like, "All right, cool, man." But yeah, I mean, of course, being in projects, I mean, it's something. I mean, for me, it's therapy. Like this right here, I love it
Yes.
because after a long day at work, it's just like I come out here and unwind. I'm able to talk to people, get to know other people from other states and whatnot. But is it the same for you when it comes to working in films?
Oh, absolutely, and, I wish I can do it more often
Yeah,
because I love any opportunity to be creative. Um, I've had experiences, acting and
yeah,
with makeup. I've dampered a little bit with, helping with sound. Like you'll the more people that you talk to that I've worked with, they let you know that I am set mom.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I've done a little bit of everything. Not only am I helping out the crew, but I'm helping out the cast. But just any opportunity to be creative. Um,
Right.
been able to help with like script editing and
Oh,
co-writing a script. So that was a cool opportunity, and I'm hoping to be able to do more of that soon.
oh wow. You see, and something like that. I mean, and that was one of my further questions. But I mean, when it comes to acting, I always ask as far as writing, because of course, you can get on video and tell a story, but at the same time, if you write it down, it's a lot more detail, more complex. I mean, is writing something that you do? I mean, on your own?
Not normally, but I would like to um, take the time and by next year have a at least a short written out to
Oh,
be
nice.
executed. That's kind of a goal I have.
And is that the one you were talking about getting the family involved?
One of them.
Oh, okay.
I have a couple ideas up here. The one that I wanna do, is a little more darker, and I think I
Oh,
wanna
okay.
start
Yeah.
with that one.
You see, and one of the things to even here, like I've been shooting, quite a bit, not a lot. When it comes to editing, I've been getting help, but at the same time, I'm driving somewhere and I see something and I get an idea. So it's like as soon as like I get to work or I get home, I'm like writing stuff down because I'll forget. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I'll be like, man, what the heck was I thinking? And but I've got so many ideas, and I'm like, man, I gotta put them on video. If anything, just even if it looks like hell and people don't like it, I'm
Yeah.
like, man, I just want to put it, record it, do a little, script, and boom, put it out there. But it's gonna happen. I was supposed to do something tomorrow, but I was asked to work late, so of course, I think I'm gonna try
Yeah.
to get something done Saturday myself, but just to get it out there, it's just one of my things this year. I'll be turning the big 50, which is still, I still can't get that through. It's just, I turned 50 and I'm like, man, like what the heck happened? I don't know. I had way too much fun in the 90s and 2000s, but
Time
for the most
flies.
part, yeah, no, yeah, I've had a lot of, I mean, and not one of my coworkers, I mean, we're always talking because we used to hang out back in the day, and I'm like, man, like some of this stuff, like I'll remember certain things that happened. I just don't know what year, what month, what. I'm like,
Mhm.
man, everything was like between 2000, or 95 all the way to 2010, one of those years. But yeah, it's just, I mean, memories, of course, but that's one of the things. I mean, I want to put on my, I guess, bucket list. Just be able to,
Yeah.
I've been doing a few indie films. I've been getting on perks. I've been voice acting, just getting out there, and for me, it's mostly, something that, God forbid. I mean, if I don't get to live that much longer, like my grandkids can look at one day and be like, "Hey, that was Grandpa," or "That was," you know what I mean? Like it'll live
Exactly.
forever. I want something that's going to be there, and that's it. It's just going to be whether it's my voice or my mug. Either or. But for me, that's what I want to accomplish. I want to get some more stuff done this year. Um, but for yourself, I mean, of course, doing these projects. I mean, like you said, getting the short story done.
Yeah.
I mean, are you looking bigger? Are you thinking of, not to say that can't be the biggest one, but I mean, are you thinking as far as production, maybe later on getting more involved?
Oh, absolutely. I think so. It's funny that you mentioned doing some voiceovers. I just signed up for a Fiverr, so I can start doing
Oh,
more voiceovers.
oh, nice.
Um, hire me. No. But no, I think starting out with the um the short that I want to do, it's going to be micro budget.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, I um want to start small on purpose, um, because I don't want to get in over my head.
Oh, yeah.
Because like I've seen that happen to many people, and I'm okay with starting small. Because I mean, it's a
You're
learning
learning.
process. It's a
Yeah.
learning process, yeah. And depending on how things go with the script and whoever's being hired, it might be a little bigger than I want it to be, but I'm aiming to like let's start here. I'm not looking to try to come out like, yeah, I'm gonna raise $100,000 and we're gonna do this big budget and it's gonna blow everybody out of the park. No, I want to do this as a learning experience. And if people enjoy it, that's awesome.
Yeah.
If not, then there's plenty of other things to look at too.
They can just swipe, right? Keep going.
Yep, exactly, exactly. No
You
one
see,
says that you're forced to sit there and watch it.
no, yeah, definitely. You see, and that's one of the things. I mean, my kids, when they were younger,
Mhm.
my oldest had a cell phone before I did. Like, I wasn't big on tech. I mean, even now, I'm still learning how to use my damn phone. But it's just, um, they used to do a lot of recordings. Like, they used to stay with grandma, go to work, come home, and they're like, "Hey, Dad, look at this video." And I think she had like an iPhone 2 or 3. It was like one of the earlier ones, but
Okay.
like she used to do like some crazy videos, and I'm like, when did y'all do this? And they're like, oh, earlier, me, like her and her sister, like she would use her sister for as a as an extra, and I'm like looking at her and I'm thinking, kid, like how the heck did you, like, I was mind blown. But I mean, the technology even now, I mean, there's so many apps for everything that it's just,
Oh, yeah.
clicking and pasting and boom, so it's just, but I mean, as easy, I don't want to make it sound easy because I'm sure it is to a lot of the younger generation. For me, I'm still like, hitting the cell phone trying to figure things out. But yeah, there's so many things out there, and a lot of them I always get people to help me. My kids, I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
how'd you do that, or how did you do this, and oh, you do this, that, and blah blah blah.
I
It's
don't
still,
I don't think it's necessarily easier. There's just a lot more things that are accessible
yeah,
to anybody that wants to damper in it.
yeah,
So, you don't necessarily have to spend thousands of dollars on equipment and programming that you can start as simple as using your phone and
yeah.
editing on that, which is, hey, it works.
No, you see, and that's kind of what I'm doing. Like, I'm actually just using my media phone, which is what I call it. It's just my second phone. But
Yeah.
and it's mostly because I'm not trying to do a short film. I mean, for me, it's just I'm trying to do short like videos, just like a something that I can put on Instagram, or a minute and a
Yeah.
half, 2 minutes, and just kind of tell a story and boom, let it go. But yeah, for now, that's fine. Like, I mean, like you had mentioned earlier, like I'm not trying to get into a big budget, like I want to eat next week, I don't want to be broke. So of course, I
Right.
want to just keep it simple, keep it but the same thing as a budget film, just asking friends, people I know, and of course those that want to get involved, they can jump on, and that's it. Just shoot it, go back, edit, and throw it out there and see. Just I, I, I mean, for me, it's one of those things. Like, when I was my kids, my youngest is my twin. Like, she's got my sense of humor. I mean, they both do, but my youngest more so. And she's the one that, we can talk, and it's just like I'll be thinking of something, and she'll say it, and I'm like, okay, kid, like, that's a little scary, but it's just, that's how much our sense of humor. It's just things I find funny, they'll laugh at, and it's one of those things. Like, when I was dating, before when me and my girl started dating, I was telling her, I said, man, if you don't laugh at my jokes, I said, man, we're gonna have problems, because I'm funny. I said, so you gotta chuckle, or something, but and this, a lot of it is just TV. I mean, with her, the situation is, she didn't grow up around TV. Like, so a lot of 80s, 90s, like she. So I think, our sense of humor, for me and my kids, I mean, they have it, but it's just,
Yeah.
we get along, and we see something, and we're like, hey, Dad, and they'll point, and I don't know what they're talking about. So we talk TV language. But let me ask, as far as I mean, projects that you've done. I mean, when it comes with to film, I mean, what are the some of the things that you're looking to do? I mean, of course, acting, but are there roles that you're more towards than the other?
So typically, um, the roles I get placed in have been more, um, whether it be lead or supporting, characters that have similar nurturing tendencies to
Right.
them. Um, and I think I would like to explore more darker and serious roles. Um, because I'm known as the human Muppet, so it's very easy for me to get to be like the playful, bubbly
Yeah.
character. So I think it would be fun to test the waters and
Oh,
um,
nice.
tackle something a little more serious, a
Yeah.
little more dark. Maybe more of a thriller rather than a horror comedy. But
Okay. I mean, I
yeah,
like that, because I mean, it will take you out of that box. I mean, like you say, you don't want to get type. Well, not so much get typecast, but I mean, of course, people
right,
know you as such. But the fact that you can do something, something other, that'd be pretty cool. I
right.
like that, and of course, that's gonna the short story you were talking about. That's something that you're leaning towards, in.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I don't know if I would be necessarily a lead in that because, I'd be wanting to direct it, but um definitely that would be a push in that right direction.
You see, that's the one. You maybe you can do a voiceover on that one. Give yourself some credit. I mean, other than directing, of course, but yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, as far as and I meant to ask you earlier, as far as weather, how's the weather out there on your neck of the woods?
it's actually been cool. Um
Yes.
Typically Pittsburgh's pretty rainy,
Yeah.
but it's actually been pretty decent and comfortable. It's been a nice, like, you could have the windows open
Oh,
and the
nice.
breeze is coming in. So it's been pretty nice. I'm enjoying it. It's not blistering hot and disgusting yet.
You see, and I mean, I am in Texas. I mean, we've been getting a lot of
Ugh.
rain, and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just freaking horrible. But one of the things, I don't, I mean, the rain. I was a mailman for years. Delivered mail in the rain, the cold. I'm used to it, but it's just the humidity. That's what does it to me because it rains, and then like later on in that day, sun's out, and man, it's freaking
Boom.
terrible. It's one of those things. I mean, I hate being outside. Um, I mean, I'm just not an outdoors person. I mean, I've worked outside my whole life, so now I'm like, man, I want to stay inside. Put the AC on. Let me relax.
Right, right.
But let me ask you. I mean, of course, being that you're involved with film and projects, your husband. I mean, does he get involved
Yeah.
as well?
That poor man. Yeah, so, I say that because, he has been a huge support system. I mean,
Yeah,
he's been around since I started doing indie film,
yeah.
and he has been in a couple, um, films with me, but he's always, like, typecast as, like, an asshole boyfriend or, like, abusive boyfriend, and he's the nicest person ever, and it's just hilarious because anytime that I'm bringing up, like, "Yeah, let's get you into this project," and then it's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be the asshole boyfriend again." Like
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, especially, I mean, well, let me ask you this because, of course, I'm sure
Yeah.
you guys have fun when you're out there. Is that something cool? I mean, of course, you can go out on a date, and I'm sure you guys do, but is this kind of considered something like that? I mean, for you guys to go out there and spend time together?
Can you ask that
Oh, I mean, as far as like,
again?
I mean, having worked, going
Yeah,
out there working on the project, I mean, would
yeah.
it be somewhat like a date night? Like, hey, you know what? Let's go and work on this, and the fact that you can spend time with them. I mean, is that pretty much what
Kind
it
of,
is?
yeah, kind of. We will make it a day out of something.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of the past couple times that he's helped me, he's only had one serious, like, a lot of blood and, "Oh, no, we gotta go home and shower" moment, but everything else has been pretty chill. Um, but the biggest date thing that we've done recently was our wedding anniversary is coming up in a couple weeks, and we
Okay.
actually pushed celebrating it a month early because, we attended the Killer Camp Out Part 2 and the Crackcoon world premieres in Maryland together. So we took a trip that weekend and did things in the Baltimore area, and he got
Nice.
to meet my film family, and that was really nice.
That's cool. I mean, of
Yeah.
course, I mean, Raccoon. I mean, I know when it first started coming out, and I mean, I love stuff like that. Like I'm a low budget, the cheesier the
Yeah.
better. And it's just when I saw that, I was like, man, I gotta look into that. There's a few other ones out there that have crept up since then.
Yes.
But I eat all that stuff. It's like people are like, man, that's stupid. I'm like, yeah, I know.
I
Yeah.
can't wait. I cannot wait for people to see Crackcoon. It is hilarious. If you like the simplest practical effects and the cheese and the nonstop just insanity, you're gonna get it from the movie. It is just fun the whole way through.
For sure. You see, and that's what I like. I mean, when it comes to like movies, even now, like we have the well, it's not that it's a mutual thing, but I mean, we'll watch a movie. My girl pick one, and she's like, "Okay, here you go, pick one. I'm gonna go work on something," because she won't sit through them. So I'm like, all right, even better. I get to enjoy a movie.
Yeah.
But let me ask you. I mean, as far as projects, can you tell us what you have working on right now?
Oh my goodness. Well, um, I will be on set in a couple weeks actually for Brad Twigg's Crackula.
Oh, okay. Talking about
Yes.
cheese. Ooh.
Yeah, so, I'll be filming at the end of June. Um, it'll be acting and helping with special effects, and super excited about that.
Nice.
And, um, I am attending my first, independent film convention as a vendor to promote myself for the first time, Gross
Oh,
Fest, and that's happening August 2nd and 3rd.
okay. You see, and I had seen some of the images, the photos that you have posted out there. So you do help with a lot of conventions as well.
Yes, I tend to, visit, Steel City Con
Yeah.
for, my main source of employment. We vend there, and, I've also, um, helped push the business too at, like, World Oddities. I also like attending Horror Realm, which is in the Pittsburgh area, and Gross Fest as well.
Nice. So of course, I mean, being that you're gonna get your first booth, I mean, how are you excited? Are you nervous? Both?
A little bit. I mean, I think this is a good spot to start because I'm going to be around people that I've worked with before.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's gonna be like a little reunion, and I get to just put myself out there, which, I mean, I already kinda do to a degree, but to, financially put all of this stuff in place, I've
Yeah.
never done this. So, this is all new territory, so fingers crossed.
No, I mean that's great because I mean, if anything, and I'm sure people are gonna come up to you and take photos and all, but if anything, I mean, you're gonna get to hang out with people so there'll be like a
Yeah.
little hangout.
Yes, I'm really excited to either reunite with some folks or, people that I've been talking to through social
Yeah.
media for so long, and it's like, "We haven't worked together yet. Why haven't we worked together yet?" And we'll finally get to see each other, so it'll be exciting.
Well, that's cool. Now, as far as I mean, having a booth, I mean, what are you looking to have up there? What are you gonna have as far as like photos,
Yeah,
stickers?
I plan on having, 8 by 10s, stickers that will be designed by myself or, friends of mine that are local artists,
Nice.
um, and hopefully some movies, whether it be, through Fuzzy Monkey Films or other ones that I've been a part of. Basically, I've talked to directors like, "Hey, if you wanna put your, um, content here, I can help sell that for
Oh,
you as
sweet.
well."
Heck yeah.
So, movies, stickers, prints, me.
Yeah. And let me ask you because, of course,
Yeah.
the photos are gonna be as far as photos from the movies, right? As far as images.
Yeah, it'll be a mix of, some prints that I've had done professionally and then some movie stills.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. Now, are you thinking of? I know sometimes as far as directors or movies, they put a TV and they put the whole movie playing. I mean, are you gonna have anything like that? Or is that too much?
I am debating on creating it might not necessarily be just a movie, it might be segments of movies. So maybe something similar to my reel,
Yeah,
but where you can see like, "Hey, this is a clip from so and so. The movie's right here."
sweet.
But it would probably be more of like an MP4 file that's on loop
No, yeah,
rather than going through movies.
right, right. No,
Yeah.
well, definitely. I mean, and that's pretty much where it starts. I mean, because I'm sure, like you mentioned earlier. I mean, people have been following you. You don't get to meet them. I mean, to be able to go out there and hang out and meet people face to face, that'd be kind of
Yeah.
cool. Now, of course, I mean, acting. I mean, this year, I mean, you have one movie as far as right now that you're gonna be shooting. Is that gonna be local or are you flying out for that one?
This one it's a little bit out of the area, but not too far. So it's drivable. It's drivable. And same thing with the convention. And as of right now, I am still in the process of trying to book for the remainder of the summer. So
Go ahead and book it up. And of
yeah,
course, I mean,
girl.
the kids are out of school, right?
Yes.
Oh, sweet. Now, I mean, how does that work? I mean, as far as them being home, I mean, is that something that you're still able to like get up and go and do?
Yeah, they're at an age where I can trust them not to burn the house down.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, they'll be fine. They'll be
That's when you tell him,
fine.
take care of your dad, make sure he doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask. I mean, of course, I mentioned earlier before we started on this, as far as podcasting. I mean, have you ever
Yeah.
thought about jumping on there, or maybe even starting your own blog or vlog?
I think when I have more time,
Yeah,
absolutely. I think that would be a lot of fun, just because I'm a people person. I like to talk to people. It's a thing, and if you can find a similar topic to talk about, then why not? I think I would struggle my biggest thing would be continuing different topics for different episodes. I feel like that would be my
you
struggle.
get stagnant after a while.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, I will be doing another one in a couple weeks, um, which I'm excited about as well. I am all about being a guest on it, and I appreciate everybody that does this because it is definitely a commitment. It's a commitment. I'm just not ready for that commitment yet.
No, no, you see, and that's one of the things. I
Yeah.
mean, for myself, I mean, I enjoy it. I do get a kick out of this. I mean, having meet people like yourself. Um, I wouldn't have met you otherwise. Maybe in person someday. Maybe who knows? We'll meet at a
Yeah.
convention somewhere. But for the most part, I like it because I mean, I always keep saying like the indie film community. I mean, it's big, but at the same time, it's small. It's real
Yeah.
close to where people know everybody. They know each other, and if they don't, they know about that person because it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this other, somebody else is filming out here, and it's like, okay, cool, I mean, whether it's local or state. But
Yeah.
I mean, I like it, the conventions. I mean, meeting the vendors and just going. I mean, I am in San Antonio, but I mean, I drive out to Bastrop. I've been out there a few times, Austin, Corpus, Houston. But it's just like this, like you said earlier. I mean, there's people on here that I haven't met, and it's like I think it was 2 months ago. There's this guy I met through the combat sports world because I do have a podcast for combat sports, and I've
Okay.
known him for years. On social media. And one day, a local filmmaker was like, "Hey, I need an extra. You want to film?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So I showed up, and he was all like, "Yeah, I've got this guy coming up, from Dallas." And I look, and I'm like, "Holy crap!" And I'm like, "Dude," I said, "Hey, bro, like." And we were kind of both like stunned because I'm like, dude, like it took this guy to bring us, to finally meet up. But it's just, it was pretty cool. It's just like I feel like I mean I have known him through social media, but that was like the first time we've talked like in person. So I was just like, man, but it's a good feeling. It's like finally
Yeah.
get to meet that long lost friend.
Yeah.
Now, of course, when it comes to you said like earlier, you said your film family. I mean, of course, is this something? I mean, do you guys other than filming? I mean, do you guys get together otherwise?
Not as much as I'd like.
Yeah,
Is because a lot of people that I have worked with are not real close to me. I am still in the process of, actually making my way into the Pittsburgh film scene. Um, I've had more things booked outside of Pennsylvania, which is kind of weird because you would think I would start close to home, but that's not how that worked. Um, but when we do get together, though, it's like you don't skip a beat. It's
Yeah.
just back into the goofiness and just
The
loving
conversation
each
you
other.
left off last time you saw him,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Man, well, that's pretty cool, though. I mean, let me ask you, as far as music, I mean, when
Yeah.
you're home and you guys are just, or you just want to unwind, what do you listen to?
Oh my goodness. So typically, and this is where my husband comes into play because he listens to literally everything. So at the end of the day, we just veg out downstairs in our game room and he'll put on YouTube and he has such an eclectic taste. So it's anything from like metal to indie alternative to pop to,
A little
whatever.
bit of everything.
Um so usually whenever I'm listening to something, it's pretty upbeat. I've been enjoying more, like, indie groups that I'm finding, like, on Spotify. Queen Herbie is one that I really enjoy. Um, Watsky, um, let me Japanese Breakfast, like, just it all depends. There's Ashniko,
Yeah.
that's something a lot of and also things that I can sing to because sometimes I just like singing, so I'll have, like, Disney tracks on in my car.
Nice.
So
No, you see, and that's one of the things I think we do the same thing when it comes to YouTube. We have it on the television, of course, the internet, and we'll put like an '80s mix or '80s matchup, and we'll just listen to it the
yeah.
whole time we're home, working or working around the house. But yeah, just something to unwind to and relax. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, Pittsburgh. I mean, you mentioned earlier as far as the weather. What is it known for? I mean, as far as where you're at right now, is there like
Oh
a
my goodness. There's so many things. I mean, Pittsburgh's known, Steel City, the Yinzers,
yeah,
um, known for pierogies and Heinz ketchup and the Stillers and the horrible pirates and the penguins and um there's Anthrocon. So the furry convention's coming soon. Like there's so
dang,
many things. Like Pittsburgh is such a melting pot
yeah.
of everything, all compacted into one little area. Because like Pittsburgh, like it's big, but it's not that big. But it's just filled with so much culture, and I actually grew up outside of Pittsburgh, in a town called Derry. Um,
Yeah.
yes, and it's like it's about an hour, hour and a half from Pittsburgh, and it's just cows and corn. Like whenever some people are like, "Oh, where are you from?" I'm like, "Cows and corn." That's literally all that's there. And at one point, I was like, "Oh yeah, like I never have to travel to Pittsburgh. I hate driving to Pittsburgh. I'm never gonna work there. It's too busy." And now I'm there all the damn time.
Man, and of course, I mean, locally, I mean, is there anything that was? I know you said as far as filming. I mean, they always go out there
Yeah.
because of the low. I guess they don't have to pay as much as far as being out there in the big
Yes.
city. But
Yes.
is there a local artist that's famous, notorious from there?
Oh my goodness. Michael Keaton is from Pittsburgh. Jeff
Oh, yeah.
Goldblum. Yeah, Jeff Goldblum, Michael Keaton, Christina Aguilera is from Pittsburgh.
Okay,
Who
cool.
else? There's a lineup of people that are from Pittsburgh. Um, is it Billy Porter? I think Billy Porter's from Pittsburgh. Like just there's a lot.
I was gonna say that's more than I expected, definitely. But
Yeah.
yeah, you see, and the only reason I'm asking is because I always ask people as far as San Antonio. I mean, if you heard of it, if
Yes.
you know, is there one thing that stands out more from the city? I mean, a lot of people, military, they did their
Yeah.
station here or family, but have you ever heard of San Antonio?
Yeah, yeah, I've heard of it. I couldn't specify what it was, but I know San Antonio is a thing that is in Texas.
Yeah. Cool. No, you can always tell people because, of course, the whole Pee Wee Herman thing with the Alamo, and I'm like, the bike's still down there, so it's like the basement, right? But I just had to ask. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, and bridges, I forgot, we also have, like, 446 bridges
Oh,
in
damn.
Pittsburgh. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it is the city of bridges, I forgot to mention that.
No, I
We
think we
got a
got
lot of
up
bridges.
400. What is that? Potholes. But the streets are pretty bad out here, man.
Yeah, potholes are awful.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's gotten better, but it's a where I live. I mean, it's just one of those things. Every time I see the city working on something, I'm like, man, our taxes are going up. They're just but they have to. It's pretty bad out here. Oh, it's not bad, but it's been getting pretty worse, should I say? But
Yeah.
now, and I was gonna ask you now, with the podcasting. I mean, I know it didn't happen, and you guys have worked on something at the beginning.
Yeah.
Right now, you don't have time, but I mean, I would
Yeah.
like to be able to bring you back on here again.
Oh,
Maybe even,
absolutely.
I know you have that project coming up, so maybe after, depending on what your scheduling permits. But
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, um, absolutely. I am all about, coming back on and, you know, giving you some inside information as long as
yeah,
it's
you go. What goes on behind the
not
scenes? No, you'd be surprised because I mean I've been able to shoot some behind the scenes, and I'm like even in combat sports, I'm always in the back, backstage, and the fighters getting warmed up and prepped, and you see a lot of things, you hear a lot of things, and you're like, damn, it's just promoters going crazy, the freaking TV guys over here pulling his hair because things aren't lining up, but it's pretty intense. Can only imagine. I
Yeah.
mean, I know it's filming for you guys can be pretty hectic, but y'all make it work though.
Yep.
Now, of course, I want to thank you for jumping on this, and I do want to bring you back. I know, as far as this film, where's it going to be filmed at? This film you're going up to?
It's gonna be filmed, in a location in Pennsylvania and a location in West Virginia. So,
Okay.
we'll be floating around. Um, I don't wanna specify exactly where.
No, no,
1,
no, for
because I can't remember at this moment.
sure.
2, I don't know what's public information right now.
No, definitely. And I know you said it
But,
was
yeah,
outside, but as far as it wasn't close by. I know. Are
yeah,
you going to be driving or flying out there?
it'll be driving. Yeah,
Driving?
it's like an hour drive,
Okay,
from
okay,
either area. So, it's not bad. It's not bad.
okay. Cool.
But I'm excited. It'll be seeing some folks that I've worked with before and some new faces. And I am really excited about this character and I cannot wait for everybody to see it. It is going to be phenomenal.
Sweet. I mean, I definitely can't wait. I do wish you the best of luck with that and everything else.
No.
But like I said, I do want to bring you back on here. Anything you want to say before we wrap this up?
Really just thank you for having me and absolutely I'll come on and just let me know when and I'll
No,
be
for
here
sure.
and yeah. Um Keep an eye out. I'm gonna be harassing people.
there
Give me work. Mama wants
you
to
go.
act.
Oh, and especially with the voiceovers too, right? So yeah, definitely we'll plug
Yes.
you in and
Voiceovers, acting, makeup, all the fun things.
everything. Nice.
Everything.
So thank you. Thank you. Don't hang up yet, of course. Everybody out
Sure.
there, of course, once again, this is Spider, Coming Soon Podcast. Till next time, follow up.